Let me ask you something tonight, something that has kept me awake more times than I care to admit. It is not a question about equations. It is not a question about particles or forces or any of the usual things physicists worry about. It is simpler than that and far more disturbing. Go outside tonight. Find a dark spot away from the city lights. Look up. What do you see? You see stars, thousands of them, maybe millions if your eyes are good and the night is clear. You see the Milky Way stretching across the sky like spilled milk on a dark tablecloth. You see planets wandering among the fixed stars. You see, if you are lucky, a meteor burning up in the atmosphere. The sky is full of things. But now I want you to do something else. I want you to listen. Cup your hands around your ears. Block out the sounds of the earth, the cars, the insects, the wind in the trees. Try to hear the universe itself. Try to hear the cosmos. What do you hear? Nothing. Absolute silence. And that silence is the strangest thing in all of physics. Now, you might think I am being dramatic. You might say, Professor Feynman, of course the universe is silent. Sound does not travel through space. There is no air up there. Sound needs a medium to propagate, and space is a vacuum. This is elementary school science. And you would be right. That is true. Sound waves cannot travel through the emptiness between the stars. But that is not what I am talking about. I am not talking about sound waves. I am talking about signals. I am talking about messages. I am talking about the complete and total absence of any evidence that anyone else is out there. Think about what we know. We have counted the stars in our galaxy. There are roughly 400 billion of them. 400 billion suns burning away in the Milky Way alone. And we have counted the galaxies in the observable universe. There are at least 200 billion of them. Some estimates say 2 trillion. Let me do the arithmetic for you. If each galaxy has, let us say, 100 billion stars on average, and there are 200 billion galaxies, then the total number of stars in the observable universe is something like 10 to the 22nd power. That is a 1 followed by 22 zeros. That is more stars than there are grains of sand on every beach on Earth. Now, here is what we have learned in the last 30 years. Those stars have planets, lots of planets. Almost every star we have looked at carefully has at least one planet orbiting it. Many have several. Our own sun has 8, depending on how you feel about Pluto. We have found planets in the habitable zone, the region around a star where water can exist as a liquid. We have found planets with atmospheres. We have found planets that are rocky like Earth rather than gaseous like Jupiter. The ingredients for life seem to be everywhere. And here's the thing about life. Once it gets started, it spreads, it adapts, it evolves, it becomes more complex over time. Look at Earth. Life appeared here almost as soon as it possibly could, maybe 3.8 billion years ago, almost as soon as the planet cooled down enough for liquid water to exist. And once it appeared, it never stopped. It survived asteroid impacts. It survived ice ages. It survived mass extinctions that killed 90% of all species. Life is tenacious. Life is stubborn. Life finds a way. And if life is tenacious, then intelligence might be inevitable. It happened here. It might happen everywhere. So where is everybody? This is the question that haunts me. If the universe is so vast, if the ingredients for life are so common, if life itself is so persistent, then the cosmos should be teeming with civilizations, not just 1 or 2, millions, billions. Some of them should be far older than us. Some of them should have had billions of years head start. Do you understand what 1 billion years means? 1 billion years ago, the most complex life on Earth was single-celled organisms floating in the ocean. In 1 billion years, we went from pond scum to landing on the moon. We went from bacteria to building radio telescopes. Now imagine a civilization that had a billion-year head start on us. What would they be capable of? They would have had time to spread across their entire galaxy. They would have had time to build structures we cannot even imagine. They would have had time to do things that would look like magic to us. And yet we see nothing. We hear nothing. The universe is silent. In 1950, a physicist named Enrico Fermi was having lunch with some colleagues. They were talking about flying saucers, which were in the news at the time. People claimed to be seeing strange objects in the sky. Fermi listened to the conversation, did some mental calculations, and then asked a simple question that has haunted science ever since. He asked, "Where is everybody?" If intelligent life is common, Fermi reasoned, then some civilizations should have developed space travel millions or billions of years ago. They should have colonized the galaxy by now. Even traveling at a tiny fraction of the speed of light, you can cross the entire Milky Way in a few million years. The galaxy is only 100,000 light years across. Even at 1% of light speed, that is only 10 million years. And the galaxy is 13 billion years old. There has been plenty of time. So where are the alien ships? Where are the alien probes? Where are the alien signals? We have been listening. We have been listening very carefully for over 60 years now. We have built enormous radio telescopes. We have pointed them at thousands of stars. We have searched for any sign of artificial signals, any pattern that could not be natural, any whisper of intelligence. And we have heard nothing, not a single confirmed signal, not a single alien broadcast, not a single message saying, "Hello, we are here, you are not alone." Just silence, cosmic silence. This is what we call the Fermi Paradox. It is not really a paradox in the mathematical sense. It is more of a puzzle, a contradiction between what we expect and what we observe. We expect the universe to be full of life. We observe a universe that appears to be completely empty. And I want to tell you why this silence is not just strange. It is terrifying. Because there are only a few possible explanations, and none of them are comforting. Let me walk you through the possibilities. Let me show you why each one should keep you up at night. The first possibility is the simplest. Maybe we are alone. Maybe Earth is the only planet in the entire universe where life has evolved. Maybe we are a miracle, a one-time accident, an unrepeatable fluke of chemistry. This sounds comforting at first. Special, chosen. We are the only ones. The universe belongs to us. But think about what this means. Think about the numbers I gave you. 10 to the 22nd power stars, billions of planets in habitable zones, trillions of years of cosmic history. And out of all of that, only one planet, this little rock orbiting an ordinary yellow star in an ordinary spiral galaxy, only here did the chemistry come together in exactly the right way. What does that say about the universe? It says that existence is almost impossibly hostile to life. It says that the default state of the cosmos is death. It says that we are balanced on a knife edge of improbability so thin that it borders on the absurd. And it also means that we are alone, truly alone. There is no one else out there, no one to talk to, no one to learn from, no one who has solved the problems we are struggling with, no one who has survived the dangers we have not yet faced. We are children wandering in an empty house, and the house goes on forever in every direction. That is the first possibility, and I do not find it comforting at all. The second possibility is worse. Maybe life is common. Maybe it springs up all over the universe, wherever the conditions are right. But maybe intelligent life is rare. Maybe evolution does not always lead to intelligence. Maybe intelligence is a dead end, a mistake, a path that evolution usually avoids. Think about Earth. Life has existed here for nearly 4 billion years. And for most of that time, there was no intelligence at all. Bacteria ruled the planet for 3 billion years. Complex animals have only existed for about 500 million years. Mammals have been around for 200 million years. Humans, with our big brains and our tools and our language, we have been here for maybe 300,000 years. And technological civilization, the kind that builds radios and rockets, that has existed for barely a century. If you compressed Earth's history into a single year, with the planet forming on January 1st, then humans would appear at 11:36 p.m. on December 31st, and radio technology would be invented in the final second before midnight. Intelligence is not inevitable. It is a late arrival. It is a strange experiment that evolution ran exactly once on this planet. Maybe it runs that experiment very rarely. Maybe most planets with life are covered in bacteria and algae and mindless creatures that eat and reproduce and die without ever looking up at the stars and wondering. If that is true, then we are still alone, not because life is rare, but because minds are rare. The universe is full of living things, but none of them are awake. None of them are wondering about us. None of them are building telescopes or sending signals. We are the only ones who have opened our eyes. But wait, there is a third possibility, and this is the one that truly frightens me. Maybe intelligence is common. Maybe civilizations rise all the time, all over the galaxy. Maybe right now there are thousands of alien species building cities and writing poetry and arguing about politics just like we do. But maybe they do not last. Maybe there is something that kills them, something that kills all of them, every single one. We call this the Great Filter. Imagine the path from dead chemistry to a spacefaring civilization as a series of steps. First, you need a planet in the right zone. Then you need the right chemistry. Then life has to begin. Then life has to become complex. Then intelligence has to evolve. Then technology has to develop. Then that technology has to not destroy the civilization that created it. The Great Filter is the step that almost nobody gets past. It is the barrier, the wall, the thing that stops civilizations from spreading across the galaxy. And here is the terrifying question. Where is the filter? Is it behind us or in front of us? If the filter is behind us, then we are the lucky ones. We have already passed the hard part. Maybe the origin of life is incredibly unlikely, and we just happen to win the lottery. Maybe the evolution of intelligence almost never happens, and we are the freakish exception. If so, then the universe is silent because nobody else has made it as far as we have. We are alone, but we are safe. But if the filter is in front of us, then we are doomed. If the filter is in front of us, then civilizations reach our level of technology all the time. They invent radios, they build rockets, they dream of the stars, and then something happens. Something wipes them out every single time, without exception. Maybe they destroy themselves. Nuclear war, biological weapons, artificial intelligence that turns against its creators, climate change that makes their planet uninhabitable, or maybe it is something we have not even thought of yet, some technology that seems wonderful at first but contains the seeds of annihilation. Or maybe it is not self-destruction. Maybe there is something out there, something that hunts, something that waits for civilizations to reach a certain level and then eliminates them, something we have not detected because it does not want to be detected. I know how that sounds. It sounds like science fiction. It sounds like paranoia. But I am a physicist, and I have to follow the logic where it leads. And the logic leads to some very dark places. Look at the evidence. The universe has existed for 13.8 billion years. Our galaxy alone has 400 billion stars. If even a tiny fraction of civilizations survived and spread, the galaxy should be colonized by now. It should be obviously visibly full of alien activity. We should see their megastructures. We should hear their signals. We should have been visited or contacted long ago, but we see nothing. We hear nothing. The silence is absolute. Something is stopping them. Something is filtering them out, and we do not know what it is. That is what keeps me awake at night. Now, I want to tell you something that might sound strange coming from a physicist. I want to tell you that not knowing the answer is itself a kind of answer. The silence of the universe is data. It is information. It is nature telling us something important about reality, even if we do not yet understand what. Let me give you an analogy. Suppose you walk into a forest. You expect to hear birds singing. You expect to hear insects buzzing. You expect to hear the rustle of small animals in the underbrush. But instead you hear nothing, complete silence. What do you conclude? You conclude that something is wrong. Either there are no animals in this forest, which would be very strange, or the animals are hiding, which means there is a predator nearby. Or something has happened here, something that killed everything, and you are walking through a graveyard. The silence tells you something. The absence of sound is itself a signal. The universe is like that silent forest. We expected to hear the birds of alien civilizations singing across the cosmos. We expected the galaxy to be noisy with signals and probes and the evidence of intelligence. Instead, we hear nothing, and that silence is screaming at us. It is telling us that one of our assumptions about reality is deeply wrong. Maybe we are wrong about how common life is. Maybe we are wrong about how inevitable intelligence is. Maybe we are wrong about how long civilizations last. Or maybe we are wrong about something more fundamental, something about the nature of the universe itself that we have not yet grasped. There is another possibility I have not mentioned yet. It is more subtle than the others. It requires a different kind of thinking. Maybe the universe is not silent. Maybe it is full of signals. Maybe alien civilizations are broadcasting right now, filling the cosmos with their messages, their music, their stories. But maybe we are deaf. Think about a dog. A dog can hear frequencies that are completely inaudible to humans. If you blow a dog whistle, the dog comes running, but you hear nothing at all. To you, the whistle is silent, but it is not silent. You are simply not equipped to detect it. Maybe alien civilizations have moved beyond radio waves. Maybe they communicate using methods we have not invented yet. Quantum entanglement, gravitational waves, neutrino beams, some technology we cannot even imagine because we are still in our technological infancy. We have had radio for about 100 years. 100 years is nothing. It is a blink. It is less than a blink. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. We have been listening for 100 years out of 13.8 billion. That is like searching for a needle in a haystack for 1 second and then declaring that needles do not exist. Maybe we are like ants trying to detect human conversations. The humans are talking all around us, but we do not have the sensory equipment to perceive it. We do not even have the conceptual framework to understand what a conversation is. This possibility is humbling. It suggests that we are not as advanced as we think we are. It suggests that the universe might be full of intelligence, full of communication, full of activity, and we are simply too primitive to notice. But even this explanation has a problem. Even if aliens have moved beyond radio, they should have left traces. They should have built things we could see. They should have modified their environments in ways that are detectable across light years. If a civilization has a 1,000,000-year head start on us, let alone a 1,000,000,000-year head start, they would have had time to reshape entire solar systems. They would have had time to build structures around stars to capture all their energy. They would have had time to colonize thousands of planets. Even if they do not want to talk to us, we should see the evidence of their existence. We should see the fingerprints of intelligence written across the sky, and yet we see nothing. So I return to my original question, where is everybody? I do not have the answer. Nobody does. But I want to leave you with a thought. The silence of the universe is not a reason for despair. It is a reason for wonder. Think about it. If we are alone, then we are the most precious thing in existence. We are the only place where the universe has become aware of itself. We are the only eyes looking out at the stars. We are the only minds asking why. Every thought you have ever had, every moment of beauty you have ever experienced, every question you have ever asked, these things may exist nowhere else. They may be unique in all of creation. And if we are not alone, if the universe is full of civilizations that have fallen silent, then we are the inheritors of a legacy we do not yet understand. We are part of a story that is much larger than ourselves. The silence is not empty. It is pregnant with meaning we have not yet deciphered. Either way, the answer matters. Either way, we should keep searching. Either way, we should keep asking. Because here is what I know for certain. The universe does not owe us answers. Nature is not obligated to make sense to us. But we are obligated to ask. We are obligated to wonder. We are obligated to listen. So the next time you look up at the night sky, I want you to do something for me. I want you to listen to the silence. Really listen. Let it wash over you. Let it humble you. That silence has been waiting for 13 billion years for someone to notice it. That silence contains the deepest mystery in all of science. And you, standing there on your little planet, looking up at the dark between the stars, you are part of the only species we know of that has ever asked what it means. That is not nothing. That is everything. The universe is silent, but we are here, and we are listening. And maybe, just maybe, that is the point.